Emily, what's a good length for a podcast, or does it really depend on the topic? Honestly, it depends on the topic. You want to keep in mind who your audience is and when they're listening. If you are doing a podcast for busy moms on how to level up and work their careers and take care of their children, do they have a ton of time to listen to an hour-long podcast every single week? Probably not. Do they have 5 minutes to listen every single day? Ooh, maybe. So you want to make sure you're taking into consideration who your audience is. If you're doing interviews with people, if you're teaching them on like the world of writing, there are some really cool writing podcasts out there. Those are going to be a little bit longer because it's practical information that teaches people how to take certain steps to get a specific result. So those can be a little bit longer. Who is your audience? When are they listening? How are they listening? And what do they want to consume? I recently saw on TikTok somebody was doing a hot girl walk therapy session inside of a podcast where it was just a short bite-sized thing so that girls could put their earbuds in and listen to some really cool counseling type stuff while they were taking their hot girl walk. That's obviously not going to be an hour long. That's more like 10 or 15 minutes so that they can get that in while they're doing something. So taking that into consideration, then you can plan how you're going to do it. And you may want to do some trial and error, test things out to see what's going to be the best fit, and then decide from there. With that said, you will always have some outlier episodes that are a little bit shorter or are a little bit longer. Certain podcasts, like business podcasts, can sometimes go from 15 minutes all the way up to an hour, just depending on the episode and the topic and the person that you're talking to. Sometimes they're little encouragement episodes. Sometimes they're those big, meaty, lots of information, educational episodes, and it really just varies. So you have to figure out what's best for your audience and for you, and how often you're going to be putting it out. If you're going to be putting out longer podcasts, maybe less times per week than something that's going to be shorter. If I do an educational podcast, I'll probably drop that once a week. But when I do my little hot takes, that's every single day because it's only a couple of minutes long. So it breaks down to what works best for each individual podcast. Emily says, oh, okay, cool. I've been telling my boss we need to network more and asked them to be guests. Nice. Oh, I love it. Always ask people that you know to be on your show first, especially if you're brand new to it. So if you're starting a live stream or a podcast, or you're doing something where you're interviewing people or talking to people, you're going to be less nervous with people you know, which means you can jump on these conversations and talk to people you already know and understand and hang out with. So you're going to be less nervous. You're going to be able to figure out your process so that when you bring on guests that you don't know, you're going to be a lot more accustomed to having those conversations, a lot less nervous when you're talking to them, and the flow is going to be a lot better. So if you can start out by doing small things with people you already know and trust, it's going to build up your comfort level and make it way easier for you to then take steps outside of your comfort zone and bravely speak to people you don't ordinarily talk to and ease into those conversations so that it levels up the podcast or the live stream or whatever it is you happen to be doing.